5 years ago, I decided to post content to share my passion for music production with the world. Fast forward to today, and I've transformed that content into a business that generates well over $12,000 in net revenue every single month, enabling me to live a life of complete freedom as an entrepreneur. The best part is that unlike what most people claim, I didn't have to post 10 times a day on 100 different platforms. Francesco and I created a process that only requires us to upload a few intentional pieces of content every week, and that drives our entire business organically. So in this video, I'll show you exactly how to create content to turn viewers into a loyal audience and a loyal audience into paid customers. You'll be able to apply everything you learned in this video to go from just creating content to building a personal brand that actually makes money. All right, so if you're creating content but are still not able to make any money from it, it's most likely due to one of these two core problems. Is that they're either not able to bring leads into their world, or they're simply not able to convert them. So really quick, just to give you some context, Francesco and I built Hypin by sharing our passion for music production through content. From that, we grew a following. As you can see, we currently have about 8,000 followers on Instagram and 41,000 subscribers on YouTube. And from there, we were able to build a business that helps music producers improve their craft, mainly through an online course and a paid community. So as you can see from Stripe, we have an annual recurring revenue of about 130,000 euros. So it's a little bit more in dollars. And we have about 53,000 euros worth of sales from Shopify. You can see that our monthly recurring revenue has literally skyrocketed in the past couple months. It started in April. And the reason is because we've applied everything that I'm going to talk about in this video to our own business. The best part about all of this is that all of it is recurring revenue. So basically, business has become very predictable and we can feel safer as entrepreneurs. So naturally, and to solve the problems that I mentioned earlier, as a creator, content is your vehicle to attract new leads organically, but also to convert them. And to do these two things, your content must do three things. Each step is extremely important to be able to monetize your content, and I'll walk you through every single step one at a time. So before talking about these three steps, I just want to disclaim that a lot of people will tell you that you need to create this format for that platform, and you need to do this and do that. But the reality is that the platforms and the formats that you pick for your content really depend on a few things. They depend on who you are as a person, your personality, your values, your core beliefs. They depend on the audience that you're targeting, your ideal follower, and the type of content that they want to see, and the platform that they want to see it on. And it also depends on your offer. So in my opinion, there are no rules set in stone. You don't need to do anything specifically, but you rather need to have an understanding of the content that you're making and adapting the formats and the platforms to that. For example, we use Reels, carousels, and story sequences on IG, and we use long form for YouTube. It's impossible to write with this mouse. But these are the only formats that we use, and it's because it's what we like best, and it's because we feel like this is what our ideal follower needs. All right, so step number one is to attract. Why does your content need to attract people? Because if people don't know that you exist, you won't grow your name and brand. People won't have the opportunity to buy from you because they don't know you exist. And at the end of the day, you're not going to be able to help anyone. And as business owners, we want to help people. So step one is to create content that attracts people into your world. But how do you do that? The goal for this step is to create content that you believe can appeal to a wide range of people. And we're going to talk about that in a second. The goal is not to go viral, but to generate attention and drive traffic to your brand. So why am I telling you that you need to appeal to a wide range of people and at the same time not to go viral? What we have here is your ICP. What we have here is your ICP, your dream follower, and everything around it. So if you go viral, what is that going to do? You're going to probably generate a lot of views. It's going to feel really good. You're going to have a lot of dopamine hits because you created something that a lot of people related to. But the problem is that most likely all of these people that you were able to reach, they probably have nothing in common with who you are as a person, and they probably have no interest in what you're talking about. So that's what I mean with the goal is not to go viral, but the goal is to target everybody inside this second circle. Your dream follower is essentially the exact kind of person that you want to be talking to and that you want to be helping with your content. And your ICP is a narrower, more specific version of your dream follower that is the perfect profile of the person that you could help with your offer down the line. So this is what I mean with your top of funnel content. You want to attract everybody who's in the second circle, and you don't necessarily want to target something broader. Of course you can, and I know it's going to feel good to get a lot of views, but the truth is that those people are not going to help you monetize your business because they simply don't have enough similarities to you and they're simply not interested enough in what you have to offer. So as I said earlier, the content that you're going to make to attract people as your top of funnel is really going to depend on you. As an example, and obviously these examples are not exhaustive, you could do yaps, right? It's organic and authentic thoughts that you're willing to share with a wide range of people. You can make dynamic reels, so these really fast-paced and hyper-edited reels to maximize retention. These types of edits have a better chance of going viral because they're made to retain the attention of the viewer. You could also make inspirational content because all humans want to feel inspired, and it's applicable to a wide range of people. You could have a very broad sentence that, regardless of what your skills and knowledge is, could be relatable to a wide range of people simply because we all want to feel inspired. And these are just 3 things, but you can also make content that entertains. I mean, you can do plenty of things to hit that top of funnel. I'm going to show you an example of a piece of content that we made with our music production business. And this is literally the piece of content. I'm going to break it down in a second. In this video, Francesco did not say a single word, but he entertained people by challenging himself to make a beat in the least amount of time possible. Rationally speaking, there is no value behind this content. There's literally no value, but it was very entertaining to a lot of people. And we can see that from the stats. It got 52,000 views. It drove 2.7 thousand likes, almost 300 saves, a lot of reposts. And it got us 89 followers from a single reel that is like less than 60 seconds long. So this is what I mean. The point of this reel was not to generate value for people, but it was simply to get people to follow us, to show something entertaining in this case, hoping that people would, find it entertaining and follow the account. And once you find your winning formats and you're able to generate follows organically from this type of content, comes step number 2, which is to nurture the audience that you're creating. So once people know that you exist because you were able to generate followers from step number 1, you need to share value so that you're perceived as an expert. And most importantly, you need to build trust that goes beyond value. You need to create some kind of human emotional connection with the people that have decided to follow you. So step number 2 is to create content that nurtures the audience that you're acquiring. But how do you do that? To build trust with your audience, you can't just tell them, I'm the best. That's never going to work because nobody's going to believe you. You need to show them that you're the most qualified person to help them. And to show them, you need to create valuable content that helps them in their journey. So the goal with the second step is to create content that over a long period of time builds trust with your audience. I listed some examples here, but of course, once again, they're not exhaustive. It really depends on who you are. Something that we love to do is storytelling. It's sharing relatable stories about your own life and experiences, which tends to create a real human and emotional connection with the person watching. A great way to do this is to be honest, to be vulnerable, and to share, things that might be difficult to share, to not only show your successes, but to also show the things that you've done poorly, the mistakes that you've made, the failures that you went through, because all these things allow you to be perceived as a human being. And in today's day and age, this is what people want. They want to see you as who you are. They don't want to see a perfect version of yourself. Another great type of content that we use a lot is value, right? You can share value by educating your audience. All the things that you've learned, all the things that you spent a lot of time on understanding, you can share all of those things with an audience and a natural transaction will happen because you're giving value, and in exchange, they will be thankful for that value. That's exactly what's going to build trust over a long period of time. And last but not least, another example is a day in the life. You can build trust with your audience by sharing real moments from your life, not things that you think about and tell as a story, but rather actually showing, what are you doing today? What does your day look like? What is it like to be in your shoes? So I think with these 3 examples, you understand the logic behind this type of content. It goes beyond attracting people, but rather being vulnerable, being honest, being valuable. And those are the things that are gonna build trust with you and the person that started following your account. This one is a great example. This is a story that we wrote about who we are for these people that are following us, right? There's a story of Francesco, how he went to med school. In the beginning, everything was fine. Then everything became very difficult. He was depressed. Then we met with myself and Luca. We built what we built. He had no money in his bank account. He thought, everything was going to go to shit. Then he fired himself from his job to commit full time to this. He started working in the studio, creating connections until he, worked with really important artists. And, in the end, we made it. So we bring people on this journey with us and we share everything that we've been through because we want to be honest with the people that follow us, but also because we know that people need this to actually trust us. Another example that is very different is just, this kind of tutorial where Francesco shared some tips for producers. He explains how to do some kind of music in the style of an artist. It's very simple, it's very basic, but people appreciate that kind of value. They learn something from it. And as you can see, these posts, they generate different kinds of data. This one, the story, got less likes than the top of funnel video. And although it got less likes, it got a lot of comments, it got a lot of saves, it got a lot of views for a carousel. It reached a lot of accounts. It didn't get as many follows because this was more targeted to people that already follow us, but it got a lot of profile visits because then people went to click in our link in bio. This is a kind of content that really warmed our audience, and we were really able to build a lot of trust with this post. And it's the same for this kind of post, less likes, less follows, but we're sharing value and we know that people appreciate that. And over a long period of time, it'll help bring our audience from cold to warm and to eventually making a purchasing decision. So once you put the second step in place, the third and final step is to convert people. So once people know that you exist, and as you build long-term trust with your audience by sharing value consistently, you need to do two things. First, demonstrate, show proof that you are the best option to solve your audience's pain points. And secondly, use content as the vehicle to drive traffic to your offer. So step 3 is to create content that converts your audience. But how do you actually do that? To convert your now loyal audience into paid customers, you need to create an offer that actually solves a real pain point. You need to prove that your offer is the best solution to solve your audience's pains. And you need to create content that drives people to your offer. So the goal for this step is to create content that proves that you have the solution to your audience's pains and that you truly understand what your audience is struggling with and that you are the most qualified person to actually help. So as you can already tell, the content that you're going to be making for this step is completely different from the content that you need to make for step 2 and from step 1. Some examples, and again, not exhaustive, are case studies. You can prove that your solution has already helped eliminate your audience's pain points by actually showing the work that you did with a client or showing how your solution actually helped a physical person. You can use testimonials and share what the people that you've helped have to say about your work. You can create a VSL, in other words, a video sales letter, to connect your audience to your offer by framing it as the solution to their pain. But you can do many other things. You could, for example, show the process of what it's like to work with you. An in-depth video where you show, the process from onboarding to results so that people understand what it's like to actually get in a program with you. A great content example for this part of the funnel that I have with our music production business is this carousel post. This is a post that we did in collaboration with a member that we helped with our private coaching. And we tell the whole story, basically his whole story, everything that we went through together, every way in which we helped him, up to the point where we show his successes, the fact that he was able to work with one of Italy's biggest artists after working with us. And this kind of post not only gives some kind of insights on what it's like to work with us, but most importantly, it serves as proof. It shows you that it is possible to get results if you choose to work with us. And this kind of post kills a lot of the objections that people might have, a lot of the doubts, the fears, and it reduces drastically the friction that your loyal audience members have to actually converting, because now they understand that if they do choose to, work with you and take a leap of faith, they can actually get results and improve their lives. And I think what's most interesting about this post data here is that this piece of content did not generate a lot of follows. We only got 3 followers from this, although it got 19,000 views. Do you realize how bad of a follower conversion that is? But again, because the point was never to get new followers with this piece of content, the intention was completely different. The intention was to show, to prove that what we do with our members works, and to get people to actually visit our profile so that they can click the link in our bio to, convert to our offer. And this piece of content converted super, super well. So I hope you understand by now how every step of the funnel serves a completely different purpose. Every step has a completely different goal. Step 1 is to attract people, step 2 is to nurture those people, and step 3 is to convert them. I cannot tell you which platforms and which formats to use, that really depends on you, but Francesco and I can definitely help you with your organic content strategy. And more generally, what Francesco and I specialize in is to help people go from simple content creators that are not able to monetize what they do to actually building a profitable personal brand that makes over $10,000 in net revenue every single month. So if you want our help to establish your own strategy, simply click the first link in the description below. I truly hope this video was useful to you. I hope you learned something new, and I'll see you in the next one.